Hey guys, it's Brandon and welcome back to the channel. On today's video, I'm going to talk to you about whether you should script or not script your next video. Let's jump in. Alright guys, if you love what you see and hear today, it goes without saying, I would love you to like and subscribe to the channel below so that you don't miss another video just like this, because it is all about helping you on your content creation journey, getting comfortable in front of the camera and really taking action and really taking your first step. So guys, if you love what you hear and see today, I do have some amazing resources in the comments for you to check out. My key resource that is totally free to you to download and use is 7 tips on how to overcome your fear of presenting on camera. So click below and check that one out. And then also, if you want to start implementing and executing these strategies in you and your business, I've got 3 amazing courses which you can jump into and pay and really go on a journey with me to nail it for you and your business. So the first course is presenting on camera, how to nail it and create your first video. The second course is podcasting, in particular to create leverage for you in your business. And the third course is personal branding and how to really nail it and kill it in your industry and vertical. All right, guys, let's jump into today's video. So I get asked this question a lot, and I'm sure you've considered it when you've thought about starting your content creation journey. Should I plan and script and really know my lines? Or should I get familiar with my content, be happy to be unscripted and really talk off the cuff? Now, I want to preface this by saying there are situations that require scripting more so than not, and there's definitely situations where you absolutely do not want to be scripted for fear of coming across disingenuous and not authentic. So I'm going to explain the scenarios today in which you may find yourself, and then quickly you'll know whether it should be scripted or unscripted. I'm also going to show you how you can quickly understand what works best for you personally, because guess what? It is quite different for each individual person. So one of the first things I want you to ask yourself is, what do you consider scripting to be? Do you consider scripting to be words in sequence in order on paper, in a certain word count and a certain amount of time and certain amount of pages? Do you consider scripting to be a structure and plan and a story that you're looking to craft to take the person watching and listening on a journey? Do you consider scripting to be just key topic and theme ideas and just things to keep you on track? Or do you consider scripting to be something that you want to write out and you want to recite back to camera word for word? Now, once you know what you think a script is, you'll quickly understand why it's relevant for some scenarios more so than others. And you're probably guessing by now that the number one thing to consider when scripting or not scripting is how much time do you actually have at your disposal to create your content. Because as you'll start to see and understand, there is certain levels of post and pre-production involved in creating your videos, and it can be a lot more or less depending on how much time you allocate to certain activities either side of the camera when you're doing exactly this. So what I want you to ask yourself is, what is it about me that can help me understand if scripting's for me? And one of those key things is, are you time poor? Now, if you find yourself to be a time poor individual that is doing multiple other things in your day and in your business, and jumping on camera like this and creating content is just one of those small tasks, then I do recommend scripting the majority of your videos. And if not scripting, I highly recommend having a guide and a structure behind the camera, close to the camera, that you can visually reference and you can see to keep you on track. The reason why I recommend this for time poor individuals is because if you are time poor and you have found value in allocating resources to other people to speed up your productivity, it might be worthwhile getting someone else to write those scripts. Now, one thing you need to bear in mind is, if you are going to go down the path of scripting, you may want to look at using a teleprompter or a tool that can help you not have to look anywhere other than directly down the barrel of the camera, but at the same time be able to visualize and see your script. So I just want to demonstrate something for you now. Watch my eyes, and as I'm presenting to you, you can see that I'm now focusing on something slightly off camera above the camera, and now I'm looking just slightly below the camera, but also now I'm just looking over to the right and I'm looking over to the left, but I'm not looking directly at the camera. Now, what do you think happens the moment that you take your eyes off the lens? That's a potential for your viewer to lose interest and attention and potentially switch off and stop having a connection with you. So if you are going to go scripted, guys, get a teleprompter or a tool that can enable you to be able to not lose your line of sight directly to the barrel of the camera. We can put a link in the comments also if you want to check out a suitable teleprompter to buy and to use. There are two types that I would recommend. The first being ideal for someone filming on a DSLR camera, and the second being for people filming on a smartphone, an iPhone, a Samsung, an Android, something that's a little bit more portable, because there are two different types of teleprompters. All right, guys, so that is probably the key thing about yourself to understand if you want to know if you should be scripted or unscripted. The other thing you should consider is how experienced are you? So if you were to rate your experience level with speaking in public, speaking live to crowds, speaking on camera in interviews, and being comfortable on camera, if you're anything higher than a 7 in your view, and that would mean that you've got experience doing this for more than 10 years, I would most certainly say you can trust yourself to be unscripted. But if you find yourself being relatively new and a bit of a starter when it comes to presenting to camera and interviewing and speaking in public, then definitely you want to trust in scripting first. How do you then know if you're suited for unscripted video? And how do you know personally if it's going to work for you? Well, what you want to do is you want to take a look at maybe some of your last videos, and if you haven't ever done a video, maybe you want to take a look back at scenarios where you know you've had to present live to an audience, or you've had to perform in a job interview, and have you responded and reacted well in a scenario where you've had to perform and deliver without any notice or without any preparation. And if you can remember back to those moments, did you experience a little momentum once you got over the initial nerves and the hump of, oh no, what am I going to say? And did you find yourself in a groove? And if you can recall back to remembering that you were in fact able to get in that groove, then absolutely you can back yourself in 100% and go for unscripted. It goes without saying that unscripted is incredibly valuable for shorter forms of content. So obviously when you're producing YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok, you most certainly want to be unscripted, because you don't want to take your focus and your attention away from anything but the message you're trying to get across. The moment you start to remember order of things, scripting, am I saying the right or wrong words, you won't come across genuine enough and people will lose interest. So they are two quick and easy ways to understand if you should script or not script your next video. Finally, what I want to share is the content of your video and the thing that you want your viewer to take out of the video is worth considering if you think that you maybe need to be scripted or unscripted and you're undecided. For example, if you're creating content that you know you need to deliver without mistakes, without rushing, where you really want to stay on topic and you want to work through a particular order of things and tell a story that really gets that person to a clear end point of understanding, then most certainly scripting can help, because quite often if it's a learning module, people are going to be either completing whilst watching an activity or an exercise, or they're going to be doing that shortly after watching your video. So the quality and the engagement level doesn't need to be 110%, but they do need to get the information that you're trying to deliver out clearly, and they do need to have heard it and seen it at least once to be able to then move on to the action of completing the exercise after the learning video. Now, if you're trying to tell a story and you're really trying to influence an audience and you want to lean on your personality and talk about something that you know is going to require your ability to really show emotion, then definitely err on the side of unscripted. But it goes without saying, guys, planning is always paramount. And if you are worried about whether scripting's for you or not, start planning your next videos. And the first place you start is the title. Then you want to talk about the story and the start and end point you want to take people on as a journey. And then you'll quickly understand whether you need to be scripted or whether you can, in fact, shoot from the hip and talk off the cuff and be unscripted. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, guys. I'd love to see you back on the channel. Check out plenty more videos here on how we can help you overcome your fear of presenting to camera, podcasting, and how to create that killer personal brand. Now, don't forget, I've got paid courses in the comments which you can check out if you want to implement and execute these strategies in your business. And I've also got an amazing free resource which you can see on screen, which is 7 free tips to avoid and mistakes that you can easily avoid when you're presenting on camera next and you're feeling nervous and anxious. All right, guys, see you on the next video, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon.